I'm Dave and this is Logan, out once again for a walk in the New Forest. Thanks for joining us. Now today we're at a place called Copythorne. It's next to Cadnam, just to the west of Southampton. Although we're just outside of the New Forest, we are still inside the New Forest National Park. And today we're going to be doing a roughly 3.5 mile circular walk to the north of Copythorne. We'll be crossing the M27, which you can probably hear in the background. We'll be going into a nature reserve and going through a fair bit of woodland and heathland. Should be a great walk. Now I'm filming at the end of September. It is a glorious sunny morning. Temperature's already 21, 22 degrees and it might get quite a bit hotter later on. We've got plenty of water though, so we should keep cool. Are we ready? Let's go. Well, I'm starting my walk at the church, which is on the outskirts of Copythorne, and it's just behind me here. It's St Mary's Church, and as you can see it's a red brick structure built on a mound, and it was built in 1834 with alterations in 1891 and 1892. It has a tower in 3 stages. The clock there was a memorial to the 34 local men that lost their lives in the First World War. I believe it's still wound up by hand. Unfortunately we can't get in, and as I mentioned at the start, you can hear it's very close to a main road, both the A31 and indeed the M27. And next to the church is a Scouts building which was built in 1912. It's probably one of the oldest Scout headquarters in Hampshire, founded in 1910 by Major Sloane Stanley, who was a friend of Scouting founder Baden-Powell. Indeed, the group is known as Stanley's Own, although officially I think it's the second New Forest Scout group. Well, I've left the church. I'm going to make my way into the countryside, but before we do I've got to cross a couple of busy roads. Firstly, behind me here, the A31, which is the old main road. It's a dead straight road. I wonder if it's got Roman origins. I'm not sure. And then we're going to cross the M27, but thankfully there's a bridge. And once we've done that, hopefully we'll find some peace and quiet. Well, I promise you, this is not the highlight of today's countryside walk. Crossing over the M27, and down there on my left is junction 1, where it goes down from 3 lanes to 2 lanes and becomes the A31. And most Friday afternoons this becomes a car park. Well, having crossed the delightful M27, we're now in the Copythorne Common Nature Reserve. It's a site of about 42 acres and it's run by the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Wildlife Trust. It's also an SSSI. It really is quite beautiful in here. You can still hear the motorway though. That won't be with us for much longer, I promise. But it's smashing here. But you can see behind me, this is very much typical of the scenery round here. A sort of bit of heathland, quite sandy. You can see the heather out in all its glory now. Quite a few pine trees with the odd beech. Quite a bit of rhododendron in here I've spotted. But, a lovely area to have a wander around. Right, it's blackberry time. See if we can find some for you. What do we got over there? Don't worry, Daddy will get them for you. You just stay where you are. Yeah. Good boy. There's a few black ones down here. Yep. One more, just to keep you going. Pit stop over. Well, if you're going to be doing this walk after watching this video, it's fairly straightforward to follow inside the nature reserve. We've just basically gone round a full circle around the outside. On the northern section, just look out for this signpost here next to a gate, and then what we are going to do is follow the side of the reserve alongside a fence, heading in a sort of westerly direction. Oh, it really is quite stunning in this reserve. Just seeing the heather there. It's great seeing it out now. I don't know, it's not been quite such a great year for heather. Whether that's because it was quite a dull August, but I haven't quite seen so many bees this year either. Hopefully everything will revert back to normal next year, perhaps. It has been a very strange year weather-wise, that's for sure. And this is Newbridge, or part of it anyway. It traces back to the Iron Age, although only one building predates the 19th century. And Cloven Way is an actual ancient Saxon cattle drove that passes by the hamlet. Anyway, we need to look for, yes, here we go, Bridle Way past Newbridge House, which will then take us on to the next part of our walk. What an exquisite little area here. This path crosses this little green area. Almost looks like someone's garden on the side, doesn't it? Right, now this is an old bridge to go over. Now this little river beneath me here is the Cadnam River, which flows east. It joins the River Blackwater and then the River Tess before flowing out to sea at Southampton. And this bridge that we're traversing was actually built in 1964. It replaced a wooden one known locally as Shaky Bridge, but it's quite stable these days, which I'm pleased to say. And this is now going to take us on to Cadnam Common. And I see there's a little sign here that tells us that it's National Trust. Wow, and now back in the actual New Forest itself. I think we just crossed the boundary. Lovely crab apple tree next to me here. A few crab apples on the top, but all the ones near the bottom have been nicked by the ponies. And there's some cattle over there getting some shade from the sun underneath another crab apple tree. And this is very much a typical New Forest sort of open area. And this time of year, of course, the bracken really has grown up. Definitely one of those days that we could have a pit stop for some light refreshment. Good boy. Well, our very brief little journey into the New Forest is nearly over. We're going to go back towards Newbridge now. Just over there is Crock Hill, and if you follow that road you'll get to Stagbury Hill. We've done a video there of a walk in the past. If you haven't seen that one, do check it out. As I say, we're now going to start heading eastwards again, back over the River Cadnam towards Newbridge. Coming into Newbridge again, over a bridge. I wonder if this was the new bridge. I've no idea. And there's the River Cadnam again, looking quite dry in parts now. Wow. I expect later on in the winter it gets a little bit more of a torrent. Oh, beautiful cottage on the other side of that hedge there, Brook Cottage, with the white roses above. I'm just about to make out a date. It's at 1908, I think, just above there. Lovely. The village telephone box, although no telephone inside. I believe this is a K6, and indeed there's a bit of information in there about the K6 telephone box. I'll put it up on screen, and if you want to know more you can freeze the screen and read it. And looks as though they use it as a little library as well. And just a bit of information for those folk that might be doing this walk after watching the video. There's the telephone box, and about 40 yards further on your left you need to look out for this footpath sign and the footpath that goes slightly uphill. It's easy to miss. Wow, there are some magnificent oak trees along this path here, and there's a series of them, one by one. I wonder if it's an old boundary. It might be, I don't know. Sticking across on the left, there's a meadow. Look, there's another one there, and looking at the girth of them, they're going to be a few hundred years old, some of these. And well, there's more of them. About 6 or 7 along here, I reckon. We're now on the homeward leg, going through a final piece of woodland, and I can hear the joyous sound of the motorway in the background, so we must be near the end. Just caught a glimpse of some deer at the edge of a field. I tried to get some footage using the zoom on my Canon video, but it might be a bit grainy. But it is beautiful in here. If you can discount the noise of the motorway, the actual scenery is quite stunning. And you do get quite a mixture of colours at this time of year. You've still got the green foliage of the deciduous trees, although there's quite a mixture in here, as well as beech. There's a fair bit of conifer as well. But look, the bracken already beginning to go over and go brown, a sign that autumn's not that far away. Well folks, we've come to the end of our walk. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up and a like, and do leave a comment, and do check out our Facebook page, Dave's Countryside Walks. We've had another super walk today. It wasn't a particularly long one, but it was a very pretty one nonetheless. We're heading back for some light refreshment at the Empress of Blandings. So until we meet again, thanks for watching, and cheerio. Good boy. Well, a quick mention for the Empress of Blandings, which is our final destination. It used to be known as the Old Well Restaurant, and then the Old Well Inn, and then St Jack's Restaurant and Bar. And I think in 2005 or around about then it changed its name to the Empress of Blandings, named after P.G. Woodhouse's creation, the Earl of Emsworth's prize-winning Berkshire pig. And I think there's over 350 pictures and paintings of pigs adorning its walls in there. The locals call it the pig. It was an enormous black Berkshire sow who won many prizes in the Fat Pigs class at the Shropshire Agricultural Show.